The morning light filtered through the lace curtains, soft and golden, the way it always did in early spring. I asked why the house was so quiet. My son said, "Because everyone moved out this morning." The words landed like stones in still water. I stood frozen in the doorway of the kitchen, coffee mug halfway to my lips, staring at Daniel, my youngest, the one who still called every Sunday, even when life got busy. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't joking. His eyes were tired, the same hazel eyes his father had. "Everyone," I whispered. He nodded once. "Me too, Mom."
"I'm sorry."
I set the mug down so hard the handle cracked against the saucer. The sound echoed louder than it should have in a house that suddenly felt hollow. If you're still listening, tell me where you're watching from. Every comment you leave is another mark in this journey, and if this story has touched you, don't forget to hit like so we can reach even further. My name is Bella. I'm 68 years old, a widow living alone in a small clapboard house on the edge of Dallas, Texas. This house used to be filled with laughter, the noisy, overlapping kind that spills from room to room like water. It was the place where my husband, James, and I raised our 2 sons. We bought it in 1987 with a down payment scraped together from overtime shifts and garage sales. The backyard had a swing set James built himself, crooked at first, then sturdy. The walls still hold pencil marks where the boys grew taller each summer. After James passed from pancreatic cancer 12 years ago, the silence crept in slowly. At first I fought it. I kept the radio on, gardened until my hands bled, cooked enough food for a family of 5, and froze what I couldn't eat. I taught Bible study at St. Mary's every Wednesday afternoon. Mostly Psalms and Proverbs, stories of endurance. I told myself it was enough. A small life can still be a full one. But old age doesn't ask permission. It arrives with rising bills, creaking joints, and grocery prices that double overnight. The roof started leaking in the back bedroom. The water heater groaned like an old man. Property taxes climbed while my pension stayed flat. I sold the silver tea set, then James's tools, then my mother's pearl necklace. Each sale felt like cutting away another piece of memory. Daniel tried to help. He'd drive in from Austin every few months, fix what he could, leave checks I never cashed. Ethan, my older son, lived farther, Seattle, with his wife and 2 daughters I saw mostly on screens. They sent money sometimes, but money isn't company. Money doesn't fill chairs at the table. Last winter, the heating bill arrived like a slap, for $187 for January alone. I paid it, then lived on canned soup and toast for 3 weeks. That's when Daniel started talking about options.
Assisted living.
A smaller apartment. Selling the house. I said no every time. This was my home. Their home. The only place that still remembered James's laugh, the boys racing down the hall, the smell of cinnamon rolls on Christmas morning. But children see what parents pretend not to. Daniel and Ethan talked behind my back, not cruelly, but with the quiet determination of people who love you and can't watch you struggle anymore. They found a buyer, a young couple with a toddler on the way. Closing in 30 days. They arranged movers, packed boxes while I was at church, even labeled them in my handwriting so I wouldn't feel betrayed. That morning I came home from the corner store with a single bag of groceries, eggs, bread, milk I could barely afford, and found the house stripped.
Furniture gone.
Pictures missing from the walls. Only my bedroom remained untouched, as if they'd saved the worst for last. Daniel stood in the empty living room, hands in his pockets. "We thought it would be easier if you didn't have to watch it happen." "Easier for who?" My voice cracked. He looked away. "We're taking you to Austin. There's a nice place near us. 1 bedroom, garden view. They have activities, nurses on call. You won't be alone." I laughed, a dry, broken sound. "I've been alone for 12 years, Daniel. I've learned how." He stepped closer. "Mom, you're drowning here. We can't keep pretending it's fine." I turned and walked to the kitchen window. The garden I'd tended for decades looked wild and abandoned already, roses overgrown, tomato stakes fallen. Beyond the fence, the neighborhood carried on, children shouting, a lawnmower buzzing, Life that didn't pause for one old woman's heartbreak. I thought of James then. How he used to say, "Bella, roots don't move easy, but sometimes they have to stretch." He meant it about jobs, about arguments, about raising boys who would one day leave. I never thought he meant the house. Daniel waited. I could feel his guilt like heat off pavement. Finally I spoke. "Give me one more night. Just one. Let me sleep here. I'll go with you tomorrow." He hesitated, then nodded. "Okay. I'll come back at 8. When he left, the door clicked shut with finality. I walked through the empty rooms, footsteps loud against bare floors. In the hallway, I touched the pencil marks one last time. Daniel at 5 feet 2 inches, Ethan at 5 feet 8 inches, James's proud line at 6 feet 1 inch. I traced them until my fingers ached. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the back porch in James's old chair, wrapped in the quilt his mother made, listening to crickets and distant traffic. I talked to him the way I still do sometimes. "You'd be proud of them," I said aloud. "Bossy, but good-hearted. They think they're saving me." A breeze moved through the pecan tree, leaves whispering. I imagined James answering, "Maybe they are." Morning came too soon. Daniel arrived with coffee and a gentle knock. I had one suitcase ready, clothes, my Bible, James's wedding band on a chain, a few photos. The rest could follow. As we drove away, I didn't look back. The house shrank in the side mirror until it was gone. My chest hurt, but the ache felt cleaner somehow, like a wound finally allowed to breathe. In Austin, the apartment is small but bright. There's a balcony with room for pots. Daniel brings his girls on weekends. They call me Nana and draw pictures I tape to the fridge. Ethan visits when he can. It isn't the same. It never will be. But sometimes, late at night when the building quiets, I hear echoes, laughter, small feet running, a man's low chuckle. They live in me now, not in walls. And the house. The young couple painted the shutters sage green. They planted new roses. A child's swing hangs from the pecan tree. Life moves on. Roots stretch. If you're still here, thank you for listening. Wherever you're watching from, I hope your own house, whatever shape it takes, is filled with warmth tonight.